love your shirt, Mark.
Thanks.
Before we start.
What is it?
This is my friend has a burger joint, and he sent me swag, so I wear it on shit to try to help him out.
That's good, man. Bob's Smashed Burgers and Fries.
Bubs, yeah.
Is it a comic or is it just
He's
a
a guy I
burger
went to
guy?
high school with from New Orleans, and he moved to Austin, as you do, and he started a burger place, and it's blowing up.
I can't imagine a more stressful job than running a restaurant. I think I've said that
Well-
before. You're just worried about people robbing you all the time. Right?
That's true,
Like
yeah.
employees and shit like that.
Maybe it's
I was
7-Eleven.
thinking because I'm like they say like most of them, more than half, close within the first.
That too. I mean,
yeah.
that too.
So you like? I think it'd be fun to have a bar. I would love to have a bar.
Yeah, but that's risky too, because now you're
That's-
doing blow every night, getting drunk, staying up, fucking wait staff. You know.
Right.
But they say that when people open up anything like this, they like has to do really well. There's guys from my neighborhood. Speaking of the Burbs, Long Island, Croxley's Ales. Remember Croxley's?
Yeah.
So the first one they opened was in Franklin Square. These are the three guys that were buddies in Long Island, and they did a thing which I've maybe told you before, where they were just working bars around Long Island. They did a thing where you get those like really high interest credit card things in the mail. They're like, hey, you're pre-approved.
Yeah,
and it's like
it's a scam
20.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
25% interest every month.
Oh, yeah.
They each took 10 of those a piece, opened up all the cards, and just charged everything to open Croxley's like 20 some odd years ago, almost
for
30 years ago.
them.
And it paid off, like, because now they have four of them. They had one in the city. They closed because they didn't feel like coming into the city anymore.
Wow.
Like they actually, dude, and they're like, if this doesn't work out, we are screwed.
Wow.
That's pretty ballsy. This is like 95, 94.
it
The
worked.
problem is there's like one of those stories and then 100. Yeah, and now I'm giving hand jobs under the BQE because I dream big. Dream big, you got to take a big cock. That's how it works.
I'm driving Uber and giving blowjobs.
Here's a life hack. If you get a gift card, you know those Visa cards, they
Yeah.
put $50 on it, they give it to you.
The Amex ones or whatever.
Yeah, sign up for a trial thing. Like, Hulu, sign up with a credit card. Use that thing, and they can't turn it off. So, like, they have a card, and you'll never get charged because, they go, they'll forget. You'll
Yeah.
forget, and then you'll keep paying on accident.
Yeah.
This way, you'll just pay it off the card, and then the card will end.
The
Then
card
your
around.
credit goes to shit, right?
No, it's like a fake.
But then
card.
once the
okay.
payment doesn't go through for the Hulu, because the card only has X amount on the
Yeah.
thing, what happens then?
Well, then the card is done, but you're not forgetting with one of your cards.
I see what
and
you're
putting
saying.
that down.
Oh, that's like a cheaper version of that rocket loan company. Have you seen
No,
those ads?
what's that?
It's basically this. I think it's an
Is that
app.
SpaceX?
No, it's drones. All the drones going. No, it's a thing that they do a thing where I guess you give them your your email, and they go and search and they find all the hidden. Like you're talking about the subscriptions that you have.
Oh.
And they'll be like, everybody thinks they have like 2 or 3 out there. Turns out everybody has 15 subscriptions they forgot about.
Wow, that adds up.
But the thing that I think is kind of a rub is like, yeah, but you probably have to subscribe to Rocket. You know what I mean? Like you probably, like, what about their subscription at the end of the day? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like one of those kind of things where like they kind of, not fuck you.
Anything you have to sign up for or an app when they go, I just bought a Roomba. And I was like, here we go. How do I turn this thing on? I'm looking for a button that says you got to go on your phone, you got to download the app, you got to sign in, you got to make a profile, and I just threw the thing in the garbage. I cannot do another app. I can't sign
it's so
up.
annoying. You're like signing us up for like a lifetime commitment
Yeah.
of newsletters about your fucking shitty company.
Exactly.
And they give you a 15-page legal document that you scroll through. Like, nobody reads that thing. Like, any legal document, nobody's really reading.
No.
And then you're literally going like this to the bottom and accept. You don't know what you're accepting.
I know. And just the idea of that password's weak. Let me redo it. Oh, I forgot my pat. Now you try to sign back in a week later. I'm done with it.
Oh, yeah, I forget my passwords every time.
Every time.
Even on my bank app, they'll be like, you have to sign back in. I'm like, I did my face. I do the face.
Oh, you do the face.
That's
one?
what I do.
I do, yeah. Not,
I have
not
like
FaceTime.
5 passwords, so I know like, all right, if that one didn't work, it means that I recycled. Like.
I
this
used to
one.
do that, but an old girlfriend caught on, and she was like, "Here we go! I got his 3 passwords, so everything she found everything, Grindr, whatever."
Did she find some shit?
Oh, did she find shit?
Have you ever had a girlfriend steal from you? Or,
Steal? Not steal. No.
One time I had a girl out for a week during my single days many years ago, but I flew her, and she had like. she was like, just like I was like, yeah, go get us some drinks, and she came back with like drinks and shoes. She just went to the
why shoes?
next door, and I was like, this wasn't like a just use my credit card for anything.
It's not Pretty Woman. What do you think?
This isn't Pretty Woman.
What do you think's happening here? That's insane.
How long was she gone?
I'm headlining the jukebox. You know what I mean? It's like you're not getting a lot of money.
She went to a Payless. It's like you didn't even go to a Payless.
Wow, that's
Even
crazy.
that was just the nature of it.
But did you like end up breaking up with her after that fact? Or
It wasn't gonna work. Like we both by the end of the weekend were talking about other people we were into more. It was like one of the, like openly to each other.
That's kind of great though, because you're on the same page.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
can't take disappointing people. When I got divorced, and I'm the one who brought it up when I got divorced. You know that. Yeah. And my ex-wife was like, I feel the same way, and I was like, thank Christ.
Oh, that's huge.
It was pretty much maybe a little bit of a difference, but I was like, I can't take any kind of
I'm with you.
conflict. I can't. I know you're like that even like every day, right?
Well, that's like The Departed.
I'm the same way.
Do you remember that Matt Damon in The Departed? Like, I'm Irish. You got to fucking end this. I'm Irish.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm Irish, I'll deal with something being wrong forever, and it's
Right.
fucking true. I would have just stayed. I would probably just stayed married if I didn't catch. We just caught a good moment where it was so much tension. I just brought it up.
I mean, you'd be so miserable right now if you were still married.
Yeah, I would.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We both. It was like it was the right thing to do.
Would have been such a nightmare.
I got caught flirting with a girl when I was in a relationship in college, and she was like, "What are you doing? Why don't you just break up with me?" And I was like, "That's actually way harder. I'd rather like go behind your back and run both relationships. Breaking up with you would be a nightmare. I don't even like you, but I can't do the breakup part."
I just want to get this relationship to get to a point where I see you calling and I know you're just cursing me out in voicemail and I never talk to you.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
That's where we want to get to.
That would be great.
Have you ever had a situation where like you broke up with them?
Once I did.
How'd you bring it up?
I just said I put it all on me. I was like, I feel like I'm stringing you along. This is going nowhere. I feel like it's the right thing to do to just cut this off. And
Right.
It's not because I don't even like you or think you're attractive. Nothing's gonna happen here. And I saw her once a week anyway.
Yeah,
She was like, yeah, I get it, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I had it right before I'm with the girlfriend I'm with now. I was seeing somebody else at the same time that was like a one night thing we started hanging out, and then when this got more serious, I was like the first time in my life I ever did it, and I was like, hey, so I was talking to somebody else and that got way more serious. I'm not trying to mislead you here, whatever it is. And she was like, I thought that might happen, and then it was like just totally cool.
That really isn't. No, but that's not like a.
That's not that
pure
bad.
Reject because
No,
you guys
no.
are just kind of casually date. You know,
We were
Yeah.
casually
not
dating,
too-
but like with relationships, it's always been like one back in the day. I dated this girl and I was like, she wanted to break up, but she wouldn't do it, and she just like put me into a corner where I had to be one to do it, even though I didn't want to. I could tell she wanted out,
Yeah.
and I had to like just let it go.
You're from New Orleans. This is a show, Burbs, where we talk about the suburb. You're from New Orleans, just
Which is
technically
you
city.
got it. The first question we asked
Like a
is,
suburb.
We have suburbs, but I was right
You
in
were
the
a
city.
city guy, like
Big
right.
city kid.
The stories that you tell about your life, it's very Huckleberry Finn, but with more alcoholism. It's
Well, we
like-
had an N-word gym, all right.
That's true. That's true. You can see him on Kill Tony. Everybody. That does sound like a Kill Tony character.
It does.
N-word Jim. But yeah, so you were just, I mean, that must have been just fucking insane to be dropped into like a New Orleans in high school. Because you either, I mean, the two choices when you're in like that big of a city, you either don't grow up or grow up too fast, right?
Ah,
There's no middle ground.
good point.
Like you probably, I imagine there's either people who are just abstaining from everything, or there are people like you that were just like Captain DWI.
Yeah, I definitely grew up too fast. That was the one. We got broken into all the time. I remember I came home from a Mardi Gras parade with 3 high school buddies, and there were police at my house. Some guy broke in, 2 guys broke in, held my parents up at gunpoint, tied them up.
what?
I never told you about this?
No, I've heard this one.
I want to
Yeah.
hear this story. Wait, it held your parents at gunpoint?
They knocked on the door, the
Okay.
back door. My dad's in his boxers. It's like 8 at night. He's like, "Who's this?" And he opens the door. 2 guys with masks and guns. They go, "Get on the ground." He's like, "Ah!" They
Jesus.
tie him up with his neckties. They went to his
Oh
bedroom,
my
got his
God.
neck.
And your
tie him
dad's like
up.
a fucking lawyer or something, right?
Yeah, he was a lawyer.
Yeah.
And they tied my dad up and my mom up and my brother up. And then they took my brother, poor guy. He was probably like 18 or 17. I was 14. And they were taking him around and going, "Where's the bedroom? Where's the jewelry? Where's the cash?" So he had to be like, "Ooh," because he had the tie on.
Oh my
So
god!
everybody was traumatized. I mean, I thought my parents were dead. It was crazy.
And where were you? You at
I
a
was at
friend's
a
house?
Mardi Gras parade.
Oh my!
which is the most New Orleans. I was drunk with my
I just
14-year-old
did the
idiot.
jump cut of them like, and then you go like I go,
Him with one of those big heads on.
Yeah.
He's like fucking dancing with Hulk Hogan or whoever's the.
Just eating fucking Creole food.
Yeah, po'
Well,
boy.
they're just like shaking.
I know. I mean, the guilt though you feel when they go through that and you don't. I was like, oh my god.
Well, if it was a
horrible.
TV, if it was a show or a movie, it would have been like you would have been investigated for being responsible.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that would have been
that's
the
true.
twist. Like you were behind the whole thing, and you
NCIS.
set up.
Yeah, the Big Easy. That's true.
That is the Law and Order twist of it. But Burbs, we talk about the craziest suburban news stories. I got into all the 2024 ones we didn't get to. But this is from Charlotte, North Carolina. Not exactly a suburb. Still kind of. It's like, though, you go to Charlotte, it's kind of like a suburb city. You know,
Sure.
it feels like Sacramento. Can you just go back to the headline?
Sacramento.
Toddler says monster in the wall turns out to be 50,000 bees.
Which, let's be honest, more terrifying. Isn't that just Candyman? Isn't
Yeah,
that
it's
just-
Candyman. So like, what did you like kill a babysitter and cover it up, or like, yeah, that's what it feels like. That there's something haunting behind this whole thing.
Andy Haynes had the funniest joke. I don't want to say her name on the pod.
Okay,
Can you bleep it? Can you bleep
just
the
don't
name?
say the name, I
Bleep it.
guess.
But if you got to say the name to get the joke.
All right, go ahead.
all right.
Can you bleep it, Pat?
Yeah, you can believe it.
All right, please bleep it, or else she'll fucking come after
I will
me.
bleep it.
He hooked up with, and I go, oh, how was that? She's really hot, and he's like, she's hot, but she's so mean, man. It feels like when I took her shirt off, it would just be bees. But you need to know her to get the joke. But bleep the name.
That's hilarious.
And she is mean. That's why I get why you want to
she's
bleep.
terrifying.
I've only had like
She's
nice
fine,
interactions,
whatever.
honestly, but
But even if you watch her act, like she's pretty salty.
Cutting,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah,
Not a
she's
problem.
funny, but she's salty. Yeah, this is a lady did a TikTok where she said, "Day one, beekeeper
have you
moved
been
50,000 bees."
have you been bitten by bees, Sean? Stung by
Yeah,
bees?
I used to lie to people and tell them that I was allergic to bees because I was really scared of bees.
You saw my girl.
You saw my girl.
I thought I'd die from it. So yeah, I've been stung by
I
bees a bunch
stepped
of
on a
times.
hive once.
I-
It sucked.
Oh.
You did?
Yeah, it was like it was.
What are you,
back
Winnie the
in-
Pooh?
He's trying to pour the honey out.
I mean, that always looks so good, right? When you're a kid with those fucking honey.
Yeah.
I think that what made it more delightful, he had no fingers.
Yeah,
So
you
I
know.
was like, I want to suck on that.
Just say
Yeah.
Jermaine. Say,
Fucking
Jermaine,
bear stump.
No pants either.
do your best impression. Go, oh, bother.
Oh, bother. They canceled on my weekend. I booked a TikTok influencer. Oh, bother.
You know
Tigger,
who's getting
please.
excited right now? A bear impression by Dan. Ed Cook is loving this.
Oh my God, he's just fucking going. We have one guy
Who loves us?
half of our listeners
We're big-
Nice.
is Ed Cook.
We're
who-
like Timothy Chalamet of this.
he
fucking-
like isolated Sean saying "come" and sent it to me, and I'm like,
Oh.
this is not how to get a threesome started, buddy.
That's not
This
good.
is not how to get a threesome started.
That's no bueno.
But yeah, they just got rid of like there was some good news this week. They finally eradicated the murder hornet in the United States.
Whoa.
That's fantastic. It's
done.
I was worried about murder hornets for a long time.
Well, don't worry about it.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
There's a bunch of other shit you should be worried about,
That's what my
but
dad
not
calls
murder
migrants.
hornets.
Nukes, forget about it.
Yeah,
Murder
yeah,
hornets,
Murder hornets
that's
were going to
actually.
be okay.
But I will say this: my sister in the old house she was in Manhattan Beach in California had a similar issue where I think it's if the queen goes to the spot or something like that. They
Yeah.
find a spot for the queen, all of them come over because at
Right.
first it was like kind of like this where I don't think it was 50,000 obviously, but dude, there was hundreds of bees on her sliding glass door upstairs.
Oh, no.
It started as a few, and she was like, "Huh, there's a couple bees." And I was like, I think I was there at the time too.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, when I went up there, the whole top part of the glass door was just covered in bees. And then they had to get somebody to come in, and then I think they removed the queen, and then everybody else followed.
Do you guys have alligators at your? In New Orleans, I guess there's no alligators.
I mean, the city does not, but you
Yeah.
go 20 minutes out and they're there.
They're wearing like
And
a
how'd you-
stove popped
Yeah.
pipe.
Did you learn about them?
Yeah, the alligator's the mayor. Sorry, what?
Do you learn like how to like spot them, like say like because it's so close, like.
Yeah, I mean, we did fan boat tours as a kid. That was like a birthday. Hey, we're going on the fan boat.
Really?
Yeah, and you get to hold a little one and take a photo with it.
I had that. We went to Gatorland Zoo in Florida.
Yeah.
and
Everglades.
They taped the mouth, and then I was holding the alligator.
They're cute.
Yeah,
and
we
they give you
did
a big python that you can put on your.
There's a picture of me and Sarah, and she's holding a baby, and I look so erotic, like while I'm holding him. I'm like, I have
With the
these
alligator.
big glasses. It looks like I'm like, what am I doing? I feel like I'm Lenny Kravitz in this. Fucking
Right.
this-
But this could have been like Filipino like runaways. They're lucky it was bees.
in Charlotte, North Carolina.
That seems like a real like News Nation story.
Yeah.
Turns out the Filipinos were actually a horde of bees. What is the number? You have a kid. Like,
Yeah.
so you're probably
Coming.
thinking about all this
coming.
shit. Well, it's coming. What is like the biggest irrational fear you have now?
I got a real because of my childhood. I got a real home invasion thing. I wake
course,
up all
yeah.
the time at like 4 a.m. Like, what was that? And it's just like my cat walking over the bed or a tinker in the window.
Are you gonna get a gun? You think?
Nah, because I'll shoot my wife. Yeah.
Not at night. It's like 12 in the afternoon.
It's not even at home.
Oh, it was a break-in. It was a break-in. What are you talking about? I was listening to my favorite album. That was the Oscar Pistorius thing. He said it was.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know what it was, but he's like shot her 8 times or something like that.
He's
out
hot.
now.
He's out?
He's out. Yeah, it's like fucking.
How is he out?
He got out like a year ago because it's like murder. You get out in other countries. You get out pretty quick.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Is that true? I thought they have like
Oscar Pistorius.
Pull up the wife. She was smoking hot.
Well, and the girl before her was also like he was just. Yep, he was released a year ago.
Wow,
So-
I didn't miss that news story.
Yep, he.
He's the one. He has like robo legs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're fake kind of
Like the
what do you call that? That plastic, polyurethane or whatever the hell.
Oh, okay. I can't believe he got out that. I didn't think murder. I thought murder was kind of universal. You murder somebody, you go to jail for.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of places it's only 20 years.
Well, I guess the U.S. is like that also. It's like
We
when they
just
say
love
20 to
putting
life,
people in
25 to
jail.
life.
Good behavior.
Good behavior, you get out. But
Biden just pardoned that cash for kids guy.
That was bad.
Remember that guy?
really,
Yeah, that guy who was just putting kids in prison because they opened a prison in town.
and he just pardoned him.
Yeah, he just pardoned him. He's like, I'm gonna make sure you all hate me by the time I
You
leave.
think?
I know, right?
I think he might be at fuck it mode, bud. I think after.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they made him. They not made him step down. He stepped down. He was kind of forced his hand a little bit.
Yeah.
Steps down. They still lose, and now he's like, "Fuck it, my son's free. I don't give a shit what's happening." I think he's just done. He's like, "I don't give a shit." I would do the same thing if I was him. I would.
Yeah, why not?
It's like they can't do anything to you. It's almost like how Trump is now. He's just going to do whatever he wants because it's like you can't get elected again. So it's
He's
like,
gonna
Yeah.
be really annoyed to have to govern because he's gonna have to do that at some point.
Who,
He's like,
Trump?
Yeah, because right now he just thinks like, "Oh, I did it. I beat the presidency. I just won."
Yes.
Now he has to do the job, and it's like, "Oh, this is gonna be a bummer."
You think
I know.
Trump will, not to harp on this, but you think he'll get divorced? Do you think she'll leave during this?
Why do you say that?
Because the rumor is that she just didn't want him to be. The rumor is that he was telling her the whole time he was doing it for other reasons, running for president, and he was like, "Don't worry, I won't."
I hope
win."
he gets fucking divorced because those press briefings are gonna be fucking hilarious.
That's true.
When he's like losing money and he's got to like, we're gonna fucking. That's actually, I hope we don't, because then we'll get no nuclear war. Then we'll find out what those fucking drones are.
Right.
For sure, if he's got to deal with this shit. It seems like a divorce is a fucking nightmare, though. Easiest way to lose all your shit.
Well, no. The key is don't have any shit.
anything.
There you go.
And then that's the way to do
no
it.
real assets, and
Yeah.
you're scot free. There you go.
You're like, yeah, who's getting this first check from Crackers?
Who gets my Soul Joel tips?
Who gets my soldier tips?
Oh, look at the DEI's out of control.
Come on, Doc.
Vermont University gives Max the cat honorary doctor of literature. Oh my
Oh,
god!
but for his friend.
Hey.
These freaking these jokes. Literature degree. This reminds me of Toon Sister Driving Cat from SNL.
Yeah.
This is insane. What's here? Do you want to play the video?
Meet
Well, you
Mr.
know.
Max Dow. Soon to
Now
be
that we got rid of
Dr.
affirmative
Max
action, we
Dow,
won't have this
actually.
shit happening anymore.
He isn't your typical college graduate because he has 4 paws and whiskers.
Do you notice every time,
His furry
like,
friend
news
has
anchors-
reportedly been a part of the VTSU Castleton community for years now, and in honor of his time supporting the campus community, the Board of
This is so
Trustees will
Vermont.
bestow the Doctorate of Literature, emphasis on litter there. They'll bestow that upon him at Saturday's commencement ceremony. Way to go, Max.
You notice, like, whenever nenews
You've earned
anchors
it,
like talk
buddy.
about fun stuff, they turn into fun voice.
Yeah.
Like they just
Yeah.
like 7 people died in a pileup, but Paulie the fucking parrot is a comptroller.
There is a fun cadence and then a serious cadence.
Yeah, there's a fun and serious cadence if you're a news anchor.
So this popular tabby, he lives in a house with his human family on the street that leads to the main entrance to campus. So he decided he would go on campus and just started hanging out with the college students, and they love him. This is what they, this is what they don't talk about this when they say, go get pussy at college.
Oh, come on. Jesus
Come on,
Christ.
guys.
All right.
Jesus,
All right,
you're not
tried
gonna
my
fucking
best.
get back in crackers with that.
I can see why the divorce happened.
I just, I wish I could have cats. I'm like fucking horribly
Allergic?
allergic.
I'm not
to
a cat
cats.
person.
I love 'em.
You have cats?
I have one big Maine Coon. It's like this big.
Those things are gigantic.
Pull up a Maine Coon if you can.
They're
This guy's-
gigantic cats.
What are they like?
They look like
They,
bobcats.
they look like lynx. They
Yeah,
look like
yeah.
a lynx. You still never got the Pistorius horror, by the way.
What's the cat's name?
Greg?
Can we put up Mark's cat and
Is it Greg
Pistorius'
Giraldo?
dead wife and see who we want to fuck more?
Yeah, they're both beautiful.
Because of Greg Giraldo? Is
Look
that
how
what
big these are.
Dude, is that how big your fucking cat is?
It's not like that, but it's close. It's
Jesus
huge. They're
Christ.
cute. Look, the ears have fur on them and everything. It's the big paws.
That's terrifying. That cat looks like it's going to steal your soul at night.
Yeah, they're scary at night. I'll tell you that.
Like if I saw that face in the darkness, that gray one right there,
That's terrifying.
that looks like that
It's
just
like
haunts
Ron
people.
Perlman.
From Beauty and the Beast.
Yes. They're cute though. I mean, they call them the dogs of cats. They play fetch.
Oh, they play
They
really?
greet you at the door. They sleep on your feet. They're like dogs.
See, that's not a cat then. That's
I
like the
guess you're
opposite of a
right.
cat.
So what? Yours is like 15 pounds.
About 18.
Damn.
Wow.
You don't have to walk them.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
bury their own shit. You know, they're easier than dogs.
They are easier than dogs.
Do you have an automatic litter thing?
Nah, I scoop it.
It's better to do that because then it gets all jammed up. I used to live with people and they would get all jammed up because they wouldn't
Yeah.
clean it properly.
Right.
Well, you shouldn't have been using that litter box, Sean. That was for the cat.
It was right there. It was closer.
It was closer.
Yeah, they're really, really cool looking cats.
You're a cool cat, brother.
But the that's gigantic.
They're
That's
huge.
Huge. Man, I'll stick with dogs.
Never bitten, never hissed, never swatted. Like it's a
Really?
real big, gentle.
Does it like
giant.
dogs or no?
No, it's terrified. It runs away from everything. If it saw a mouse, it would run the other way.
How old's your cat?
3?
Oh, so it's like kind of a young cat.
Yeah.
So you had cats growing up. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How many did you have at your house growing up?
I had about 3 or 4. We had a big house, but they were outdoor cats. He saw them once a week, maybe. It was like a stepdad.
Dude, when I remember, I've been in New Orleans like twice now. Once was for your wedding, and then once was for a show. It does. We usually ask like, what do you have an urban legend from by you that like, because I feel like New Orleans has to have 50,000.
We got a million. We got the hook guy. You ever heard of that?
Oh, is that the famous hook story in the back? The
Yeah.
hook, that was from New Orleans?
I think so. We heard it growing up. We have Marie
I think I
Laveau.
heard it too, though. Marie Laveau, that's New Orleans.
That's the Voodoo Queen, and we have the Axeman in New Orleans. He had this thing where if you played jazz music outside your door, like if he could hear it, he would come in and kill you.
This is a guy who hated jazz?
I guess so. It might have been a racial thing.
I think it was a racial thing.
Maybe.
The jazz killer.
That's him, Axeman of New Orleans. He
In all
killed a lot of
fairness,
people.
There's a lot
how
of
many
people who
how
hate
many
jazz.
X-Men how many people did the X-Men kill?
Oh, I don't know. He killed Italians mostly.
Oh.
Italian immigrants. So he was doing the
I'm
Lord's
liking
work.
this Axeman more and more.
I'm just thinking like these Italian Americans like jazz. I thought they just,
Well, it'd be like listening to Drake or something. It was like the poppy music of the time.
and that was it. He was just like, fuck this shit.
It was
Yeah.
probably based off one story that just got extrapolated.
Maybe, but he killed a good amount. I mean, more than 10.
And then he ended up getting caught or no?
I think, no, he got away.
And then
but-
he was haunting things?
Yes. They have a theory he lives in California. He took a train and got the fuck out, and they think they got the guy, but, that was
Dude,
years ago.
When I was there, like nothing, I didn't see anything. But you walk around the streets, you just feel like the aura of that
Feels like a
city.
slave port.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
yes.
big slave trade.
And
Yeah.
even in the hotel, it was like an older hotel, like French Quarter, by where you guys were staying. And me and Andy Fiore were there, and I was like, we were in the room, like, yeah, I could see why people would feel like it's haunted.
it's
I've
spooky.
actually
Yeah,
still
it's
never
spooky.
been to fucking New Orleans. I
What?
was supposed to Zambone. I was supposed to do that guy.
Yeah,
that guy
yeah,
shows,
Vince.
but then it just didn't. Like he lost the venue or something like that. But like,
You got to go before you turn 30.
I know, but I don't know if like for me it's the greatest. I did.
That's true.
Okay,
It's
I
all
did.
booze.
I did because I do JP's runs like you do.
Yep.
And I ended up fucking. So I did get drunk in New Orleans, but it was in my Howard Johnson motel.
Oh,
it wasn't like a
nice.
fun drunk.
That's so sad.
It was just like
Talk about haunted.
yeah, the train.
Yeah.
Howard Johnson motels are like.
It was the opposite of like
Yeah.
Mardi Gras beads. It was like if there was beads, it would be me hanging myself with the hotel fucking curtains.
You're out in New Orleans and you're drinking alone. That's like going to the Vatican and praying that the
Dude, it
toilet's
was-
overflowing.
I ordered a ton of booze and Little Caesars. That was
Oh,
That's Howard
relapse,
Johnson's. That'll do it
relapse.
to you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
stayed in one of
yeah.
those at Anchorage, and it was like the saddest weekend of my life.
Anchorage is rough.
Anchorage.
it.
Is
I've never
really
been to
rough.
Anchorage.
It's
You guys been
lonely, cold, and dark.
It's just all.
Like my
it's
ex.
like
Hey.
a lot of alcoholic Native Americans just walking around, just bugging the shit out of you.
just
Well,
feels
you don't
like-
have to say alcoholic. We got it.
Well, they were. No.
I just so guys, it's a group of people who've been through quite a bit. As Irish,
I'm just telling you what happened.
it does feel like every time you go to Anchorage, it's like a documentary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it
cold
feels
case.
like it's like there's just like a lot of drugs and a lot of fucking murder and shit like that.
I was there for these shows years ago. It was like early on. When
Well, they
I
had a
first started headlining.
spot, right? There was like a big
Well,
Anchorage
not
comedy
Choo Choo
spot.
Charlie. They have a club there called Choo Choo Charlie's, which sounds racial, but I don't think it is. And I did a couple shows that it was like a club that in the back room. To
Choo
be
Choo
honest,
Charlie's.
No, this wasn't Choo Choo Charlie's.
Okay.
Different room. But while we were there, the guy who ran the shows, there was some girl who was working at the radio station, and the guy who ran the shows while we were there found out she was getting like $12 more an hour. And he was been working at the radio station for like 10 or 12
Oh,
years.
boy.
So he was so beside himself. So I had to console him at a lunch. And she was like 23. and he was
Oh,
like 45,
God.
whatever. So, and the shows, he's like, we're packed. They're awesome. They're going to be awesome. 7 people showed up for the first one. It was good money. I made great money.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
You ruined that guy's life. But great money. He can't put his kid in school anymore.
yeah.
But
kid's not going to college, but I
all
had a
right.
blast.
Well, this is Chesapeake Bay, Maryland. Coffin with 100-year-old human skeleton found.
Whoa.
which is pretty nuts.
See, this is the thing about the Burbs. We grew up. We had crime. We had violence. We had litter.
You had
and
real,
graffiti,
yeah. You had
but-
real scary stories.
But you go to the Burbs and it gets eerie.
It
Because
does
people
get
out
eerie.
there alone with their thoughts and the cheating and the sex scandals and the hoarding.
There's a lot of swinging.
Yes.
A lot of swinging.
They
lot
have
of
way more
drugs.
time to think about these things. It says finding fossils like shark teeth, crocodile teeth, whale bones, and even a human bone along the shores of the Chesapeake Bay is not uncommon. But 2 weeks ago, a Calvert County man made an amazing discovery. This guy, George Oliver, he walks the shore by his house, I guess, and he had a low tide surprise. A nearly intact coffin with an almost complete human skeleton was found inside
Wow.
that appears to be
Low
100
tide
years old.
surprise is the quaintest way to describe a body. A little low tide surprise.
Yeah.
She was 14 years old.
this guy's traumatized, and they're like, "Looks like you got a bobber." I wonder. Oh, look at this. I guess that's the coffin.
Are you? So are you? We talked about this last episode. Mark, are you buried or cremated?
I'm gonna go burial at sea.
Really?
Like this?
Yeah, I'll be this gal.
Somebody will find you 100 years later.
That'd be
you,
great.
but you want like chains around you, like Bin Laden chains around the body, just go right to the fucking bottom of the ocean.
No, ashes in the like Lebowski.
Oh, that's cool.
Do you have a buy home? Is that what you're thinking? By
Yeah,
the-
down
by
in
the
New
Gulf?
Orleans by the bayou.
By Bayou.
I did
Yeah.
say this, and David Cross says this a bit, but I would give my body to necrophiliacs. I don't think anyone would want to
Oh.
fuck it now, but I feel like that's kind of a nice thing to do.
That is nice.
I just
I don't want him seeing me naked.
Are we really? Are we giving a shit about the wants and needs of necrophiliacs? Like,
Well, they're not hurting anybody; they're just fucking the dead.
most people donate their body to science. You're like, you guys can fuck me.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think science is going to need anything from it. But maybe a guy who wants to fuck a dead guy can
He'll
get
be able to
something
learn a
from
lot.
me. He'll be able to learn a lot.
you're not transplant
Exhibit
ready.
A, not what to do.
What about? That's how I feel. Your necrophilia thing is how I feel about child sex dolls, which I know is controversial, but at least you're getting it out.
But I'm worried. Here's the thing I'm wondering about that. It's a great point.
But what about
That's a
it's
great point.
Gateway drug.
That's what I mean. Is it a gateway drug?
I think
Is
if you
a
like
gate-
it, you like it. I don't think.
Is there
I don't think the doll is going to push you into human.
No, honey, I'm just fucking the 9-year-old doll.
Doll.
Yes.
The doll.
Yes, exactly. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's a gateway.
Is there a push to make these things for people? Or they already do make them?
I know a link.
Well, he's selling it on the We Might Be Drunk website.
Yeah, it's my merch.
Like, the dark web.
When I was in, this is funny. When I was in the last time I did JP's run, and I had that guy, the guy show up, whose father killed the guy who molested him. Have you met that kid?
Huh?
Yeah, the guy.
It's called it's the Y Gary Y kid. I guess he was molested by his karate instructor, and then the karate instructor got off, and the dad just shot him in the head, like right outside the courtroom.
You've probably
It's a
seen the
famous
video.
video. You've probably seen the
He's
video.
at the payphone, and they left the
Oh,
guy
I've
through.
seen that.
Yeah,
That kid. He came with a book because I guess he heard me because I was on actually Karen's podcast. I don't know if it was the one with you, and we had the craziest interaction because he was like telling me all about his dad. I was like, oh man, that's so crazy. And then there was a beat, and I go, hey man, I'm sorry that guy like brutally molested you for 2 days. And he goes, yeah. I was like, this is the craziest. Yeah, but this the dad is like a fucking
This
hero.
is one of the greatest videos
This
ever.
is so good.
Is the dad still in jail or is he dead?
His dad passed. So his dad was like got no time because he knew the judge. He got like community service.
Oh, so he was out pretty quick.
He was out immediately.
That's fantastic.
He's
yeah,
so
it was.
likable.
It was like one of the more feel good stories. Besides the fact he got molested.
This is pretty. They're walking him through.
You know.
Yeah.
Here he is. He's like, do.
That's the molester.
That's the molester. And here we go.
Boom.
Later.
That was it.
What are you doing?
Oh, that's the dad.
Yep, that's him. I have a
Whoa.
T-shirt with that fucking guy on.
Whoa.
Yep. Why Gary Why? That was the book called.
I guess he knew he couldn't fight him because he's a karate guy.
That's another thing, man. Imagine like the fucking guy who's molesting you also knows jujitsu.
Yes.
Like, is there a worse person molest you than Joe Rogan? That would be the worst. You know, like you're like, I can't do anything.
He's got big fingers too.
Let's molest your kid, then beat your ass.
Then beat your ass.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Go easy on me somewhere. You know? You just body slam me.
There he is. There we go.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh,
Good looking guy. Oh, he got him in the head, huh?
yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Is not all these pedophiles are bad looking. You know, they're not all Jared
Yeah.
from Subway. No, that guy was like dreamy.
I think
He's like
he
an
gets-
avid brother.
I think he gets out pretty soon, Jared from Subway.
Well, we're gonna have him on the show. He'll be like our He'll be our we might be drunk bartender. He'll be Jared. He'll just be making people sandwiches in the back.
Shirtless Jared.
I'm gonna have a shirtless Jared,
Making sense.
and we had to fire immediately.
It is.
Sean pulls a book and goes, "Oh yeah, this is me and my stepson." Jared's like, "Nice." You're like, "All right, here's it."
I pull one of these. I just fucking shoot him in the head.
Shoot him right in the head.
It's funny. DeRosa used to go on stage and go, "I know, I look like Jared from Subway," and then I realized now they both make sandwiches. That never hit
Jared
me.
from Subway and Joe DeRosa are basically the same person.
Same person.
They're very, very similar. I think Jared is like in better shape, but like
Less sad somehow.
Jared definitely like uses the gym more than Joe.
Yeah.
The next one is actually, speaking of child sex dolls, waitress fired for posting TikTok video of a man with blow up doll at Charlotte's Restoration Hardware.
Why did she get fired?
She got
Yeah.
fired. Here's the thing. It really sucks. It was a prank. So like he lost in his fantasy football league, and he had to like take out a. So like obviously it's a fun joke. They
What's a
fired her
joke?
for this. They fired her for
Oh,
this.
stop it.
I mean,
Also,
she says that though, and it probably was like she was also probably a shitty employee. Like,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
we're
wanted
just
out.
gonna use the
Exactly.
fucking sex doll as the
they're like,
excuse.
why did you show up late a month straight?
Exactly.
But the other thing is that chances are, besides the bet, the phony, the prank, he could have been making content as you never know
He
these
was.
days. He's just making video content himself for his
Yeah.
own channel, and she's filming it. What's the difference?
Now there's going to be a million women commenting like, "Oh, I wish I got treated that good. That blow-up doll's got it made."
Also, it's so funny. He got the dollar salad.
Still don't want you getting fat, honey. Gotta watch the figure there.
Fries and a salad is pretty
Got
funny
her
for
a
the,
salad.
for the blow up doll.
That's fun.
This is Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, can we hear what she says about it? What does she say in the TikTok that we haven't covered?
Y'all, they fucking.
They fucking fired me, y'all.
The joke, but the man was committed.
Placing the doll down was like one of the more mortifying
Restoration Hardware
moments
was
because
nice.
it obviously was stiff and inflated. It wasn't sitting. So he was like trying to like maneuver it into the chair and like it was, oh my God, it was so bad to watch. I had to like leave the room.
Bjork posted the clip to TikTok where it was watched 2.5 million times. The comment section has hundreds of thousands of jokes and people wanting to know what they ordered.
There were 2 drinks on the table, little
She
cheers.
like you
balloon
know what
on
it
and
is.
then they
It's
had
like
a,
she
a
got
whole
fired
plate of
because
salad
she
with
fucking
it,
brought like
and he had,
she's.
the
I'll tell you this
and
right
then
now.
he took the
She was an
food
annoying
out.
person at this restaurant before this happened.
No doubt about
Absolutely.
it.
And then she posted this video, and they had all this attention, and they're like, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah.
It's a more because like he's clearly not like mentally ill. It's clearly
No,
a
he's
bit.
fucking around.
No, he's
Yeah, so-
joking. And she, whatever. She full on.
She's
Yeah.
trying to get clicks.
That's exactly what that's what I was about to
Yes.
say. She was like, finally something happened in this restaurant that I can go viral off. Because she's like,
Yes.
what, 20, she's what, 27 years old, 28 years old, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like my friends with kids now, you're gonna have to deal with this. They're like, I'm like, what does your kid want to be? They're like a DJ, and I'm
Oh, not on my watch. Please go trans.
like, influencer,
DJ Trance.
DJ Trans.
The,
Doesn't sound like a DJ name.
Who's one of your friends? The kid wants to be a DJ.
Yeah.
What
And
you
he
wanna
like
be?
went to fucking Harvard, and so he's like, "You're not being a fucking DJ." He's like, I lifted my whole fucking generations of family out of poverty.
Yes, good for him.
No, I don't know if he's a great guy. I mean, he was a little kid, but
That's so
DJs
funny.
get laid too. It's so annoying when you make
they
fun of DJs and girls like, I know, right? They're so stupid, and then they're wow. You're like, you like them.
my ex-girlfriend, this girl I dated, she said the worst blind date she ever went on. This guy told her to meet at a bar, and she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go see this concert or whatever." And she got to the concert. She goes, "Who's playing?" And he takes out a fedora and he goes, "Me."
Oh, man.
And she laughed. She laughed.
Oh,
This
good
is
for her.
fucking-
Good
this is
for her.
Shelley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
She just
amazing.
she did the Homer Simpson like from the back
From
thing.
with the bushes.
Yeah. It's so funny. So
The-
funny.
The
what
fedora.
about one thing I always thought was like, talking about DJs, I'm like, everybody makes fun of Jersey Shore, and it's been around for almost 20 years, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even 20 years, right, at this point, right? You know who made out like a bandit on Jersey Shore? Paulie D.
Oh, he's
That
doing
guy-
great.
That
Yeah.
guy
Okay.
makes
So.
millions of dollars DJing all
No
over the
way.
Oh yeah.
Anytime you go on the road if they have a casino in that town, you'll see, well, at least for years, maybe not recently.
He's still making
but
money,
for 10
dude.
years straight, it was like DJ Paulie D at the giant convention center.
Wow.
Because DJs, I noticed this. Like, there are a lot of famous DJs, but you don't hear like it's like usually like Danger Mouse was the DJ for like 3 years. That's all people talked about.
It goes in
and
the
then
cycle.
Steve Iocco or whatever.
Yeah.
that was a couple of
Aoki,
years.
and then DJ Tiesto was one.
Right,
I would say,
right.
and I can't stand clubs. Never liked clubs.
Hate it.
Yeah.
It's the worst. But those guys get so big, and think about it. Like, yeah, it's not just you're doing. It is. There's something to it.
I have no idea.
It's something
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
It's
You
not
can tell
what
me
people
there is or
say,
there isn't.
but it's still
when
not
Paulie
that big of a
D
deal.
starts doing it, I think Tiesto is gonna be like, "Come on, man!" It's like when Stormy Daniels does stand up. You're like, "What are you doing? We're trying to make
She
a
doesn't
living
still
here."
consider herself a stand-up, right?
She tried it. She did it.
Has she reached out to you about doing your show?
Stormy?
Yeah.
I would have her on in a heartbeat. I'm a
Stormy,
fan.
you're listening to it.
I liked her before the Trump shit.
You liked her during the Evan Stone days. I just revealed who a report I've seen of Stormy Daniels.
Remember when Madonna did stand up on Fallon?
Yes.
Did actual
She
stand-up?
did 5 minutes stand up set on.
Did she
on
do a
Jimmy.
Tonight Show, like a monologue?
Yeah.
It was that. It wasn't like
she
a
did a
stand-up
set.
She did a
She did a
set.
set.
She did 5 minutes. And
Well,
it
she did
wasn't
the
that
cellar at one
bad.
point, right?
Yeah, her and Amy were friends.
Her and Amy were friends. I hosted a show once where it was the only person that was on the lineup was Pete Holmes. He was first. Everybody else was a drop, and they got rid of everybody else. And then it was Aziz, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer, one other one, and Madonna. Amy came with Madonna.
Jeez.
You know-
and then she starts putting out this lineup, and then Liz is there, and I go, "Who's next? Madonna?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm
No
like, Shut the
way.
fuck up. And
That's
she's like,
crazy.
"Amy's gonna bring her
Wait,
up
were you
on stage."
hosting that night?
Yeah, I was
No.
hosting.
Oh my god, that was
Wow.
It was like
Wow.
6 or 7 years ago. It was nuts.
crazy.
I'm saying people
That's
were going,
probably the craziest. I mean, like that's the craziest show you've ever hosted, right?
Absolutely. People were apoplectic.
Wow.
They were losing their minds. They were,
Right.
they were
What
like,
year,
they
you
couldn't
think?
believe it because you didn't know until the next person went up and they were like, how are you going to top that?
How are you gonna
Yeah.
top
It's
this?
out of control.
Well, I always know whether it's a comic is new or not by like their feeling of Chappelle showing up. If they're new, they're like, "Oh my god,
That's a good
Chappelle showed
point.
up." But if they're like, "Fuck, Chappelle showed up. I'm not getting home till fucking 4." And then I know,
Yeah.
like, all right, you've been in it for longer than 5 years.
I just did a show in LA and Seth Green was in the front row. And at first I was backstage like, hey, Seth Green's in the front row. Then I realized, this show's going to suck. He's not going to laugh. These celebrities don't laugh. They
This is
just
that
want the.
dude, I had
comedy
that-
store or something? Or,
No, we did a little thing for Netflix and he was in the front row. And I was like, hey,
You know, like I had that. I did a crash test at UCBLA or something, and I bombed so hard it was fucking Anthony Kiedis and his girlfriend in the front row, and they were like talking shit.
Exactly.
And I would be like, "She's too fucking young for you, you fucking pervert."
Can you tell? Can you really? I'm sure you said this a million times, but can you tell the Ryan Reese hotel story of who you ran into?
Oh, man.
You probably know this too, but if you don't, it'll be good for Dan.
Have you done this hotel show?
It's
No.
it's tough.
It's in
tough.
this swanky
It's
Chelsea,
the Nomad Hotel. It's
yeah,
one of the fanciest hotels in the city.
beautiful, like a haunt for celebrities all go there, like models
Models,
and all
yeah.
these rich guy, crypto guys. So it's a hell gig, you know.
Right.
It's you feel like a troll up there because everyone's gorgeous and tall.
You're there
and
just to
skinny.
be in that room. It's like just to be in that cool room. Yeah.
So I'm bombing, whatever, and you start getting a little angry and a little flustered. I'm sweating, and this guy comes in with a hat down, black mask on, like a COVID mask, and he's got like 6 guys with him, and they sit in the front and they're talking and they're ordering, they're loud, and I'm just like, hey, dude, shut the fuck up. And he's like, what did you say to me? And I was like, hey, you're killing me. I'm trying to do my act here. You guys are talking. You're ruining the whole show. And he was like, fuck off, whatever. And then one of his bodyguards is like, hey, don't talk to him like that. I'm like, what's up with these two? And then I bomb and I get off and they go, that was Leonardo DiCaprio. But if I had known that, I could have played with it.
Right.
Well, yeah, fuck him though.
But also fuck him though.
Yeah,
Like, fuck him
yeah.
for doing that. That's insane.
I mean, yeah, full volume, no respect, nothing.
That's I love that.
I never have. Like the most famous persons that in my set that enjoyed it was like the chick from Desperate Housewives. It was Lois Lane.
Terry
Hatcher. She
Oh,
was there.
so hot.
At that same show,
She's
that
still great.
DiCaprio show, I bombed in front of Robin Thicke, and he could not have been nicer. He came to the back of the green room, and was talking to all of us. I'm like, this guy's great. And then I went up and I fucking
Well, I tell you a story. It was me, Reggie Watts, and Stucky and Murray, and we were supposed to
Nice
do
guys.
Yeah, wow.
nice guys. They're more on the TV side of the business now. They're not really performing anymore. But we had this. We were supposed to do a Mumford & Sons after party in Maine. So I had assumed it was going to be like Playboy After Dark.
Right.
Like I was going to get there. There's going to be like all these like hot chicks, and I was going to be like, oh fucking whatever. I get there. It's a reggae club. They're still playing the music. But the Mumford & Sons is like 3 miles away. So they lied. They just said, oh, it's an after party for Mumford & Sons. That was just to get people there.
Right.
We get on stage, and like right before we get on stage, I have to go up fucking first. And they go, all right, no more fucking reggae. And literally like take the, and then I hear, oh, and then I have to get on. And I just eat it. And Mumford & Sons ends up coming. They're in the back watching it. And then, so like the whole fucking rest of the night is just the fiddleist or the fiddle player from Mumford & Sons apologizing profusely to me in the green room.
really?
Like,
Oh, that's
we're
nice,
so
though.
sorry. There were animals up there. And I was like,
That's pretty cool.
I was like, yeah, because we didn't do it with you.
Yeah.
You brought us to another site.
Wow.
I did really quickly.
But
before
yeah,
we
they were
get to
nice.
this. I
I
did.
think he got fired from Mumford & Sons for being alt-right.
That was that guy, right?
He probably thought it was
Oh,
me.
yeah.
No, that's like one of the main guys. I thought
Oh, I don't know.
they changed the name of the band. That's how much
really?
it affected.
Really?
Yeah. Now it's like whatever it's called. I did one for the Workaholics guys who are not really, really nice guys, but
Oh, that was that one. That was a nightmare one, right?
I told you about this,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I did. It was a Bud Light cruise, and I was
Oh,
so excited.
no.
And they're like, it's a theater on the ship. The Bud Light rents it out for 2 nights, and Workaholics is doing like a live show, but in a port's like somewhere in downtown, whatever it was. And it was me and a couple of the comics that I know.
You did the old Adam Devine house party one.
Yeah, I
too,
did.
Right? Yeah.
So we go, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, everybody's in New York. They're off the ship walking around New York. They have like 2 days to do whatever they want. And they come back at night and I guess sleep there. But I'm walking around the ship. I'm like, this doesn't seem like enough people to have like a 2,000 person comedy show. We go in there. I'm not kidding. It sat 2,000. I think 50 people showed up.
Oh, Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
And then it's me, and I forget who it was, 'cause it's guys we know. And I'm up there bombing, and then just silence. It didn't even matter. Like it was like shouting into a wall. It was like, and what's his name who played in Anchorman? Your buddy that we hung out with.
Oh, Dave.
Dave. What's his last name?
David Koechner.
David Koechner.
Oh, yeah.
Out of nowhere, Dave Koechner is just on the side of the stage. It was like surreal. I'm bombing. He's on the side of the stage, looking at me, pointing and laughing. I'm getting nothing. I look over and it's the whammy guy from Anchorman. Just going, It was the most awkward situation.
Yeah.
Cruises are brutal. I did the Practical Jokers cruise.
Was that fun? I was just jealous of but it was, no.
It's fun. You get drunk. You hang out with
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
It's a good group of guys. It was like, Big J, Steve
Were the
Byrne.
shows as good as like Skankfest or anything like that?
Shows are great, but the problem is people go, that was great, and then they come to the next one, and then the next one. And I
Oh,
was
and
a
you're-
greener comic, so I had
Yeah.
one act.
Yeah.
And then by the third show, they're like booing me, and they're like, what else you got? We heard it. And they're quoting my
Oh, my
punchlines.
God.
And then you got to see them, because that's the thing about a cruise. It's
Yeah,
like a
I've
little
heard that
neighborhood.
before.
You just
Yeah.
bump into everybody all week long, and you want to jump off the boat.
And sometimes they say, you can know the guys who do them, and they say they make you like eat in the employee lunch lounge and stuff.
Yeah,
It's kind of like
yeah.
you feel like you're like DiCaprio
it's like
in a
upstairs,
Titanic.
downstairs or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is from Shakopee, Minnesota. woman charged for stealing livestock. She just looks like the most stealing livestock woman. If you've ever seen it, she's wearing fucking Brandon Lee's tattoos from The Crow on her face.
Yeah, and she looks like she got electrocuted recently.
She did look like she got electrocuted. Apparently, like, she didn't do a good job. So, like, literally, they like just saw her walking down the street with like a leash and a sheep attached, and they're like, "Did you steal the sheep?" And she goes, "Ah, man, you got me."
Doesn't help. She has a sheep tattoo. Like, way to give it away, lady.
Yeah, seriously.
What'd you say, Pat?
Well, Mark just said she has like a sheep tattoo on her face.
Yeah, she's obsessed with sheep.
Could it be her?
She looks like she's from Orange is the New Black.
Oh yeah.
Well, she's in prison.
Yeah, Bloomington.
Wait. Rustling. Bloomington Police Chief Booker T. Hodges. Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
That's the most fucking police chief name I've ever heard.
Oh my God. Was he chasing those Duke boys around? Her name is Mary Kay Bauer. These are very like old-fashioned names.
3 names is always a bad sign.
For a guy, it means assassin. Usually.
Yes,
I think they
yes.
did it on purpose so they're not mixed up with somebody else or like serial killer. I think that's got to be on purpose. Like Lee
You
Harvey
mean like John
Oswald.
Wilkes Booth? It's
Yeah.
because it's to make
Because if
sure
you're John
that
Booth
John
and
David
you're another John
Chapman.
Booth, they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Mark David Chapman, sorry.
Mark David Chapman,
Mark
who my
David
dad played
Chapman.
Monopoly with.
your dad played Monopoly
wait,
with
what?
Mark. You've never told me this story.
I never told you that.
No, you never told me the story. I would have remembered this.
My dad was a jail guard at Rikers Island Prison.
Well, I didn't know he was at that one. He was at.
Well, yeah. Where do you think
He shot him
Chapman
in
goes?
Upper West Side.
He played
yeah.
Monopoly with him.
Play Monopoly with him. And if you asked,
You said he was good at Monopoly, or no?
well, I used to ask him, I go, what did you do? He goes, I let him win. What do you think? I thought that
funny.
was hilarious.
He
No,
went directly to jail.
exactly. But he did it, and he was like, he was a quiet guy. He didn't say much about it.
Yeah,
But this is like this is right after it happened. But that's where they go before they go while they're going to trial.
But he was
also-
electrocuted, right? Or
No, he got out. I think.
He got
He's
out?
still, he got out. He's
Mark David
alive.
Chapman got
Oh, I
out.
think he got passed in the cellar.
He's playing now. He's playing.
He kills.
He does. He sings all of his punchlines. Mary Kay Bauer. What does she have? Is that a Care Bear on her neck?
Probably.
Yeah. Is that a sheep tattoo on her right thing?
Looks
that?
like it.
Yeah, it's something and a shamrock. Jesus.
He's got a bit of a stigmata right in the
Yeah.
noggin there.
Like,
right in
if
the
she's
forehead.
not doing crystal meth, she's doing it wrong. You know what I mean? Like, there's
Look at
no
those
excuse for her
pupils.
not to be doing crystal meth
Yeah, she's got a meth face.
with this look.
She's-
She does look very mentally ill, so I do feel bad.
Yeah,
but
something's
what
going
are you
on.
gonna do? We need content, guys.
Officers said they confirmed with the nearby farmer that the sheep is stolen. The farm's owner said the sheep is a breeding hair ram worth approximately $500. Let her just have it, guys.
Well,
I don't
Let her just
decide
fuck
which
the
one's
sheep.
together. I go, oh, this one's got a good dick.
Yeah.
Let's keep it fucking.
Well, it's nice to see women doing this shit. That's a dude crime all the way. And it's
Oh,
nice to see
yeah.
a lady
Stealing livestock?
Yeah, I mean, first WNBA, now this.
Nice to see equality. It's like that young lady school shooter. I'm like, you want
Yeah.
equality? Here you go.
Right.
Caitlin Clark?
Oh, they hate her now. And why
I
do
know.
they hate her? What did she say that like racism was real and they got pissed off at her or something?
Who,
yeah,
Caitlin Clark?
but
Yeah.
I'm like, well, she's like, I have white privilege. You're like, well, the ball
okay.
went in the basket. That's mostly, that has nothing with race.
Well, what they're saying isn't the whole narrative on that is that there's other players that are better than the league, but she is bringing attention to the league. Like
Yeah.
attendance is up by like 100.
Yeah, it
some
doesn't
50%
matter.
or
It's like
something.
Conor McGregor's not the best fighter in the world. It's
Right,
just
but
that
he's-
he
Good point.
drew money.
Yeah.
It's a draw money business.
People like her.
Speaking of drawing money,
She had the most. She
broke records.
She scored the most points out of male and female in college.
And there's not a ton of good white players. It's like Tiger
guys, she
Woods.
scored 12 points. No, easy shitting on. This is from Fall River, Massachusetts, one of the saddest places in America. This is, it's a Christmas story, guys. Suspect gets stuck in
Wait,
chimney.
hold on, the headline is "Ho ho, oh no." Man saw
not
by
the first
police
time
goes
that's
down
been doing
chimney
it.
and gets stuck. Yeah.
Fall River is the place where like every like Chris Herron, who was like the Celtic who was addicted to heroin and played basketball for the Celtics. He was like from Fall River. It's like
Okay.
one of those type of like fucking. It's a hard uptown.
What state?
It's a hard Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like if you ask List about it, he'll be like, "Oof, yikes."
That's
Got
like Lind. Remember, I have a whole famous story
Lind.
of doing a show in Lind for Sean Lynch, and it was a nightmare. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
Lowell. There's a lot of rough, like poor white towns.
They call it
around
like
there.
Lind City of Sin or something like that, and it's like right next to
Like, it's
Salem.
not Vegas.
I know. No, they mean the other kind of sin. They don't mean not just drinks and drugs.
This is like the story in Gremlins. Remember that weird turn that Gremlins
Oh, that was
took?
great. That Phoebe Cates
Yes,
monologue about the
yes.
dad dying in the fucking chimney.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that? I don't remember that.
In
the
Gremlins,
first one?
it's actually they play it dramatically, but it's clearly a comedy monologue where she talks about her dad tried to dress up as Santa and go to the chimney and broke his neck,
Yeah.
and they treat it like it's the big red, but like it's really funny.
It's
like,
funny. It's over the top.
It's
He
really over the
decomposed.
top.
This guy's just a Gremlins fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see that going on the chimney and thinking that's not going to end properly is not. I guess if you're that desperate, you're like, I'll try whatever. Like, what's
Yeah.
the difference? It's like, what if it works?
Well, have you ever heard of the people who you know what frogging is, right? Frogging is, which is really creepy. It's when you live in someone's house without telling them.
Oh.
So like,
like
you're
that,
like,
like Parasite, the movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Parasite, but
What?
there is. I hear it's
Love it.
great.
It's
I know. I
great.
hear it's great. There's a movie, a serial killer movie about it called with Helen Hunt. It's like you can't. It's like you can see me now. I don't know what it is, but that's the misdirect. You think it's going to be one of these guys, but it actually turns out. But anyway, it's a good movie. But
But that's like a thing people do. They're just like, you have such a big house.
I can see if
I'm
you're. I
squatting in
can
your
totally
house.
see how somebody who's sick is so into that.
Oh, yeah.
Being like, I get to fucking be part of their life, and they don't know.
And they
what
just like
Exactly.
watch them at night and stuff or something.
yeah, and it's probably like
Jesus.
slow walking, which
Like,
is a good
you're gonna
transition.
add to his intruder trauma.
I know.
Yeah.
Dan's true crime TP. This is the suit. Sarah Boone, the suitcase killer, guys. The way she killed her. Her husband got really drunk, and somehow she got him in a suitcase and zipped him up, and then he suffocated overnight.
Whoa.
And she had tons of video of like playing the video, being like, she's like, please get me out. She's like, you're not getting out.
Whoa,
And
she
she thought it was
filmed
a
it?
game?
Getting out. Yeah, she was like, thought that was a game.
That's a
And then she
horrible-
forgave everyone in court because she thought she was wrongfully accused.
Oh, that's a horrible ad
Because
for Toomey.
her argument is like, well, I didn't kill him. I just didn't let him out.
Samsonite.
It is a great suitcase.
It's a great ad for Samsonite.
Yeah.
It'll kill your husband. If it's the whole husband.
We're sorry about your husband, but it stayed intact.
I mean, it's in a tag. It's
Yeah.
a great suitcase.
But the other thing is like, just so you know, somebody explained to her like, hey, you left him in. That's just say the same thing. It's murder. What do you think's happening?
Clearly, she didn't win. So
Yeah, I remember when this happened, and she also. Did she think it was just like a sex game thing, or was it like
No.
she just wanted to murder?
it was.
Yeah.
She was fine. That guy had died.
I can't believe the newscaster didn't use that and go, let's unpack this story.
Yes, that's
You
what
know,
normally
that's
is.
right up their alley.
Yeah. I guess this was too sad. They thought.
She couldn't keep her zipper shut.
That's why, dude. That's why I don't mess with any of that stuff. Like when you're sleeping with a girl and she's like, "I want you to tie me up, or I'm gonna tie you up." No, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't trust any of that shit. I'll tell you right
It's like,
now.
I want you to fuck me dressed as a suitcase. It's the weirdest fetish ever. Well, yeah, and the other big true crime story that's been going on is this Hana Kobayashi story. I don't know if you guys have probably heard about this, but Hana Kobayashi went missing in LAX. And her whole family was looking for her, and her dad got so depressed about it, he killed himself. He jumped off a fucking roof.
Oh my
and then she
God.
was discovered a week later in Mexico. They think she just had a psychotic break. So everyone's like, why did the dad kill himself? It's a really weird story.
Holy
So they think the dad
hell.
molested her?
That's what my
That's
head
where my
went
head
to.
goes right
my
away.
head went to like, well, why would he kill himself after a week? You know what I mean? Like, maybe he was
Yeah.
just depressed. I don't want that to be like, in case he didn't, that's a horrible thing to spread. But she didn't feel any obligation to reach out to her family. Like, she clearly had some sort of psychotic break and didn't.
Was she trying to fake her own death?
No, because they found her. Like, she's.
Yeah, but maybe she was just bad at it. I think
she
it's
went
really
across-
hard to do that. Like we were
Maybe.
talking about
Yeah,
last week.
it's really hard to do
Went
that.
over the border.
We were talking about how actually I should have looked up more of those videos about like if you wanted to go off the grid. I was watching this video. This guy was like, you would just all your electrical devices, you just have to let die, and then you have to get a new one. But by stealing it or getting it, like it couldn't be attached to you. So like it's probably like I'm sure she would. She looks young. It's like I think she might have been like, I'm going to try to run off and get away from my family. Maybe because of something he did.
That's
the guilt
it's
figured in.
possible.
Yeah. Wow.
Or, I mean, I guess you never know what's going through somebody's brain of like if they're depressed and.
Also, if she had a psychotic break and the dad, she got that shit from the dad, it makes sense that he killed himself. Like, you know,
if
it ran in
that's the
family.
case, if that's that's very.
He
funny.
might have been at the edge.
But
of
the
it.
whole thing was very weird. It was just
Very
a whole
weird.
very weird because he was only really looking for her for a week, and you could tell he's ejected. I don't know. I don't know. It's a story with more questions than answers.
Any relation to the hot dog champion?
Yeah, she was his daughter. That's who killed himself. It was Kobayashi.
Oh, poor guy.
Embarrassment with the debt.
I didn't realize there was like a big controversy between those two guys because I guess Nathan's like the reason that Kobayashi's career stopped is Kobayashi used to dunk him in water or something.
Yeah.
And they didn't let him dunk him in water
Which
anymore.
I'm all for. I'm all for no water.
Yeah, there's a lot of salt on those.
That's just soggy hot dog. That's different. That's a different consistency.
So you agree with Nathan's?
I agree with Nathan's. Also, Kobayashi, you know, one of the reasons why he does so well, his organs are set up in a weird way.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because he's skinny.
He's skinny, but he's also the way. Some things like where his, you know, where it's not, it's a little bit over from where it's supposed to be,
he's supposed to
so
be
he can
gay,
fit
too.
more in his gullet and his whole, you know.
You sure about that? Because he eats a ton at home also.
Maybe I'm wrong. But look it up.
Wow,
Maybe if you can look it up, Pat. Before this is the last thing we look up because we have to get Mark out of here. But full on, I remember hearing that. I could maybe this is just an urban legend, but I thought it was that like, hey, his stomach can expand more because of his setup of his organs.
Interesting.
You just thought that all Japanese people had that power. They're like, yes, they have different organs than us.
Yeah, it's like Tetris. His organs. He's Japanese. It's Nintendo. It's not.
But is he set for life, or how does he pay the bills? I always wonder.
They must have so many of these competitions they make. That
Do you
win.
think it's like because you hear about those gigs like Jeff Ross gets like private roasting gigs? Do you think they have like private like hey
Yes.
I'm going to pay you $1 million to challenge me for a hot dog fight in my kitchen?
I
Come to my
guarantee
house and mukbang for 2 hours?
Yeah.
So bizarre.
Just eat a bunch of nuggets in front of me and my family, and I'll pay you $1,000.
Imagine you cooked him a meal and he didn't eat it. He was like, I don't like it. You're like, damn, that fucking hurts.
fucking hurts.
The one guy Kobayashi turns down.
Yeah.
So I guess did it not pop up? Can you see
Who did?
if that's the thing about his organs? Type in Kobayashi organs and see if something comes up.
Here we go.
I don't think it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Organ sounds like a really
Maybe I just
demented-
dreamt about this. Nerve
I think he's got a
sparing.
crazy high metabolism or something, but maybe you're right.
No, I don't see anything about it. So maybe that's maybe I just completely bullshitted you guys, and it's not for real.
Just got to Sean Blackout drunk at a bar. These Japanese, their organs are different than us. The hearts are actually in the back, like a caterpillar. All right. I don't know what I just said, but Mark, thank you so much for doing the show.
Hey, that was a blast.
What can you promote, sir? What would you like to promote?
We Might Be Drunk, Tuesdays with Stories, marknormancomedy.com. I'm all over the road, and yeah, check me out, YouTube, all kinds of shit. So when's this come out?
A couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
We roasted 2024 on Netflix. It's pretty silly.
You're doing that one too.
Yeah.
Mike Lawrence is writing on that. I think Benji Afalo is a lot of really talented people are involved.
Lawrence killed it. I mean, we needed jokes that weren't. We had jokes not working. We text Lawrence. He would fix the joke. I mean, the guy's a fucking
He's
machine.
a machine.
He's a machine.
He's like made for that shit.
Yeah, check out Mike Lawrence too.
And
my old
congrats
co-host.
on Bambino, the
Thank
great
you,
Bambino.
the big enchilada.
Dan, what would you like to push there?
I have a special Dance Fatty Dance. Actually, is on Mark Norman's YouTube. So
It's
thank
killing
you for
it.
that.
The comments are wildly positive.
They're very positive.
I was like, here it comes. and
No,
then
they were all fucking positive, but then they stopped. Then the views stopped. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I could go for some more fucking negative if we got some more views.
That's true. Don't
But
be
no,
mean to him.
my
some
comments for
controversy.
stand-up are remarkably positive. On,
The only
on
mean
all
ones were for
YouTube.
me.
But yeah, you can check that out. It's also on 800 Pound Grill, and I'm on Instagram, Dan St. Germain. So check that out.
I'm at Show Anytime on Instagram. Guys, make sure that you subscribe to the pod on YouTube. It's very important. You can get the audio wherever you get audio. And then Instagram, it's Burbs Bros on Instagram. Check that out. Thanks to Pat, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.